When Smithsonian Magazine published an article about Mozambique's Gorongosa National Park in its May 2007 issue, readers who wanted more details had a means to find them. The journalists who covered the story were blogging online about Gorongosa and responding to questions readers posted.
Anybody else watch a network?
Readers in this instance included a select group of high school students involved in an educational campaign called Global Gateway.
We hope that the benefit of the blogs for the students is going to be that they can feel a connection to the story and to the author in a way that they wouldn't when they just pick up an article and read it or just watch a video where, the author doesn't have a direct voice, is not in conversation with them. And so the blog is not meant to replace, Stephanie's writing at all, but give Stephanie the opportunity to add on to the work that she's already done.
Natalie Applewhite is Associate Director of Pulitzer Center on Crisis Reporting. She's largely responsible for the center's interactive resources. John Sawyer, there in the middle, is Pulitzer Center's Executive Director. The Stephanie Applewhite has been referring to is Stephanie Haynes, the freelance reporter who writes about Gorongosa in Smithsonian.
I think also for the students it's very empowering to let them know that they can pose questions to this author and that the author cares enough to respond to them.
Pulitzer Center's mission is to increase the coverage of significant international news stories, like the Gorongosa story, that go largely underreported. A substantial part of that effort includes engaging the public and students through the Global Gateway initiative. Global Gateway is a partnership between Pulitzer Center, St. Louis public television station KETC, and media and educational institutions. The partnership is committed to meeting students where they are, which these days often means online.
One of the things I thought was really interesting was that the questions the students asked on the blogs sometimes went to the exact most important questions that I had about the story. So some of the early questions that they were asking, I don't remember any off the top of my head, but the questions they asked were exactly the main questions that I had, that the producer Steve Sapienza had, that Jeff Barbie had, he's the photographer. And that was impressive to me, that these kids who were reading about this subject really did kind of go right to the heart of the matter, and they wanted to know more. And it was also great to have that back and forth with them while I was in the field.
Filmmaker Steve Sapienza joined Stephanie Haynes in covering American philanthropist Greg Carr's restoration efforts in Mozambique. He also has blogged about the experience and answered the students' questions.
It just makes it more relatable, I think, because I was able to understand what exactly was going on there, and without having to do a search and to find all the different things on my own, it was nice to just have them be able to answer me right back.
It's a more informal situation so that you feel like it's more accessible and you can just do it pretty much any time of day and still gain that knowledge.
Yeah, I blogged a question. And I mean, it's cool being able to talk to people with such influential power in the international community, and they talked back with it was a informal conversation, and I like that.
In addition to blog exchanges, these students at Parkway High School West in suburban St. Louis, Missouri, had the pleasure of a classroom visit from Haynes and the Pulitzer Center staff. The journalists hope that students will become connected and invested through in-person and online interfaces that enhance the traditional reporting model.
It was very fulfilling for me to be able to have these conversations with younger people and to feel like I was actually getting that information out there and to have that kind of instant gratification feedback, which is also very important to journalists, of having them be there and ask questions. And I think that there are probably a lot of people who, in my job, who feel that way. So there's this huge resource of people out there for you guys who are on the ground and are getting these stories and really are appreciative of another forum to get that information out, because that's really is, at its root, what our job is. It really is educational.
At a roundtable of St. Louis area educators, Stephanie Haynes and her Pulitzer Center colleagues discuss Global Gateway's educational value. Providing students a pipeline to the journalists who cover the news, and in some cases to the newsmakers themselves, distinguishes Global Gateway as a teaching resource.
Talking about that kind of, live communication, they were really excited about that because they're actually talking to these people. And so that got them, they felt like they were kind of a part of this. Oh my God, Greg Carr's talking to you.
Besides the blogs, Pulitzer Center posts short videos to internet outlets such as YouTube. Several Pulitzer Center videos have been featured there as editors' picks in the news and politics category. Viewers can easily download the videos to cell phones, iPods, or personal computers. Whether it's blogging or video responses online, Pulitzer Center and Global Gateway intend to explore and capitalize on technology's full potential. It's a matter of using multimedia methods to create and sustain a marketplace for global issues.
In terms of how technology is changing journalism, gosh, I mean, I think it's changing it very quickly. But we're also hoping that it will increase what we're doing with you, which is the communication, creating more ways of communicating with our readers and with people in classrooms.